traveled. Friends teased her for being paranoid, but she called it being prepared. Her dashboard held a keychain alarm, pepper spray, and a faded church flyer tucked under the radio. Safety wasn't a slogan to Ariel, it was a habit. That's why her silence didn't fit. When she missed morning class and never clocked in for work, everyone knew something had gone terribly wrong. Gas station surveillance at exit 214 recorded Ariel pulling beside pump 3 at 10:47 p.m. The night attendant later described her as polite, soft-spoken, smiling when she handed over exact change for a bottled water and sunflower seeds. Behind her, a dark pickup truck eased into view near the air compressor. The camera's timestamp caught the driver stepping out, stretching, then watching Ariel's car through the reflection on the glass door. He was taller, older, his face partly hidden beneath a cap. When Ariel finished and drove off, the man waited 13 seconds, climbed back into his truck, and followed. His name would surface later. Earl Danner, 42, a long-haul trucker from Baton Rouge with a record of complaints for unwanted advances at distribution yards. He'd been driving nearly 12 hours hauling empty pallets northbound. That night, he spotted Ariel's silver Civic merge onto the highway ahead of him. Dash cam data from a different vehicle captured both cars within the same lane change pattern for nearly 20 miles. Danner maintained a steady two-car distance, never close enough to alarm her, never far enough to lose sight. It was calculated patience, and the cameras would prove it. At 10:55 p.m., Ariel sent one more message. "Back on the road. Love you." Tanisha replied instantly, "Okay, see you soon." But the bubbles stayed gray. Cell tower records later revealed Ariel's phone connecting to a series of masts every 7 minutes. Danner's registered number, tied to his truck's GPS device, pinged the same towers moments later. Investigators would eventually map both signals like parallel lines cutting through darkness. Somewhere around mile 188, she changed lanes to pass a slower car. So did he. The Department of Transportation camera at exit 219 caught the Civic's right signal flashing. The rest area beyond the ramp was small: 2 restrooms, vending machines, a soda billboard faded to pale blue. One flickering floodlight kept the lot dimly lit. At 11:16 p.m., Ariel's sedan left the highway. 15 seconds later, the pickup followed. The footage was silent, ordinary, almost peaceful. Only when investigators slowed it down frame by frame would they notice how synchronized their turns were. The old surveillance unit overlooking the vending machines recorded what happened next. Ariel parks, steps out, locks her door, and walks toward the restroom carrying her keys and phone. The truck parks 2 spaces away. The driver's door opens briefly, then shuts. His shadow stretches toward the women's entrance, then vanishes beyond the camera's reach. For 27 minutes, nothing moves. The vending lights flicker. A moth lands on the lens. Then at 11:44 p.m., the truck's headlights flash on. Gravel spits beneath its tires as it pulls away. Ariel never reappears. Just before dawn, another motorist stops for coffee. He notices the silver car still there. Driver's door cracked open, purse on the passenger seat. Thinking someone's inside, he keeps walking. At 6:23 a.m., a trucker calls 911. "There's an abandoned car out here. Keys gone, door wide open." State troopers arrive minutes later. Body cam footage shows officers scanning the empty lot, calling Ariel's name, shining flashlights into the woods. They find her nursing ID, phone charger, and a half-finished bottle of water. But no phone, no footprints leading far. The tire marks beside the Civic are deeper, wider, fresh. Tanisha wakes to multiple missed calls from Ariel's job. She calls, texts, waits. Nothing. By noon, she's driving the same highway in her robe, searching every turnout. When she sees flashing lights near the rest stop, her stomach drops. Detectives tell her they've found Ariel's car, but no sign of her. The words echo through the body cam microphone. Flat, procedural, unreal. Tanisha clings to the hood of her own vehicle, sobbing. That same afternoon, volunteers comb the woods. They find nothing but crushed seed shells near the vending area, sunflower seeds, the same brand Ariel bought hours before. Detective Lauren Price, one of the few black women in the state's homicide division, is assigned the case. Her first move, collect every camera feed from Jackson to Birmingham. She and her team watch hundreds of clips. Gas stations, toll booths, traffic lights, motel lots. On a monitor wall inside the task force office, Ariel's journey unfolds like breadcrumbs. Her silver Civic appears again and again, and each time within 2 frames, so does the same dark truck. Price leans forward. He's not random, she says. He's pacing her. They isolate a reflection from the gas station window at exit 214, the outline of a Freightliner grille, chrome dent visible under the fluorescent glare. That reflection ties the vehicles together. It's enough to pull DMV data. Automated plate readers finally return 3 characters, 21F, from a way station camera. It matches a truck registered to Danner Logistics in Baton Rouge. Company dispatch confirms the vehicle belongs to Earl Danner, who failed to report in 3 days earlier. His electronic logbook shows a 43-minute stop recorded at exit 219, the same rest stop. After that, the device was unplugged. Detective Price exhales through her teeth. He killed the tracker, she says. He knew what he was doing. 3 days later, a highway patrol unit spots a dark Freightliner idling at a way station near Opelika. Dash cam footage from the patrol car captures the officer approaching the cab. The driver, Earl Danner, opens the door, nervous, eyes flicking toward the camera lens. When asked about his route, he stammers, "Didn't stop, nowhere special. Just caught some sleep." The officer notes mud on his boots and scratches on his left hand. He issues a citation for incomplete logs and radios Detective Price. Within an hour, Price arrives with a search warrant. They find Ariel's phone charger tangled beneath the passenger seat and a crumpled gas station receipt with her name faintly visible in ink. Crime scene technicians photograph everything. Strands of natural hair near the door handle, a small smear on the seatbelt later confirmed as foundation makeup, and Ariel's nursing ID tucked into the side pocket. The discovery is enough for an arrest warrant. Danner barely protests as cuffs click around his wrists. His reflection in the patrol car window looks hollow, defeated. At headquarters, interrogation cameras roll continuously. Price places photos on the table, Ariel at the pump, Ariel's car at the rest stop, his truck behind hers. "You followed her," she says quietly. He denies it once, twice, then lowers his head. The footage from the interrogation room begins at 7:12 p.m. Earl Danner sits hunched in a metal chair, eyes darting toward the clock on the wall. His fingers tremble against the cuffs, scraping faintly. Detective Lauren Price sits across from him, expression calm, voice steady. She starts with simple questions. Where he was that night, how long he'd been on the road. Then she slides a photo across the table. It's the still image from the gas station camera. Ariel's silver car under bright lights, and behind it, the faint outline of his truck. For a full minute, Danner stares at the image without speaking. Then he mutters, "I just wanted to talk." Price keeps her tone neutral. "You followed her off the highway. You turned into the same rest stop. What did you say to her?" He doesn't answer. He only nods slightly like he's conceding a quiet truth. After another 20 minutes of silence, Danner finally says, "She looked scared. I didn't mean for it to go like that." The audio recording captures the full exchange, his voice low, almost rehearsed. He admits to following her for several exits. When she stopped, he pulled over, claiming he wanted to make sure she was safe. He approached her while she was at the vending machines. She refused to talk, got into her car, locked the door. He reached for the handle. She honked and he panicked. He says it again. "I didn't mean to hurt her." By the end of the interview, his story collapses under the weight of the footage. The timestamps, the plate number, the GPS trail, they all fit. Detective Price leaves the room. The camera keeps rolling as Danner leans forward, presses his forehead against his cuffed hands, and whispers something the microphone barely catches. "I just wanted her to listen." At dawn the next morning, teams return to the rest stop with cadaver dogs, drones, and evidence techs. The woods stretch for half a mile behind the vending shelter, thick with pine and mud. The air is heavy and still. Drone footage shows the grid pattern of searchers moving through brush. After 4 hours, one of the dogs alerts near a ravine just beyond the fence line. Officers move in silently. Ariel's body is found partially covered by leaves, less than 100 yards from the parking area. Her car keys lie beside her hand. The watch on her wrist stopped at 11:28 p.m., 12 minutes after she parked. Detective Price watches from the edge of the scene. jaw tight, eyes glistening under the brim of her cap. She doesn't speak. She doesn't have to. The next image shown on the evening news is a still from that same camera that captured Ariel's final steps. The vending lights flickering, a lone silhouette frozen mid-step. For investigators, it's proof of how quickly a routine stop turned fatal. Body cam video from the day of Danner's arrest becomes critical evidence. It shows him calm, detached, even joking with officers as they escort him to the patrol car. "Ain't no reason for all that," he says, shaking his head. Inside his truck, forensics uncover Ariel's phone, powered off but intact, hidden beneath the passenger mat. When they unlock it, the last photo in her camera roll is a blurry shot of the rest stop lights through her windshield, taken at 11:17 p.m. Her digital trail, combined with the cameras in Danner's confession, creates an airtight case. Detectives later testify that without the surveillance network, the investigation might have taken months instead of days. In the report, Detective Price writes one line that stands out: "The camera did not lie, even when people did." The courthouse in Montgomery is packed on the first day of the trial. Ariel's family fills the front row, her mother Evelyn clutching a folded church scarf, Tanisha gripping a notepad she never writes in. Earl Danner walks in wearing a wrinkled beige jumpsuit, head down. The jury, mostly white, watches as the prosecutor begins with the footage. Gas station clip. Ariel filling her tank, unaware of the man behind her. Highway camera. Two vehicles traveling in sync. Rest stop feed, headlights side by side, then a sudden gap in the timeline. The room falls silent as the prosecutor explains how those 30 skipped seconds changed everything. Danner's defense claims panic, not intent, but the CCTV evidence dismantles that narrative. In one enhanced frame, Danner's shadow is seen moving toward Ariel's car as she steps away, placing him exactly at the scene. When Detective Price testifies, she plays the video without commentary. The hum of the vending machine, the faint flutter of moths, the motionless cars, it all plays in heavy silence. By the end of her testimony, the jury isn't looking at her. They're staring at the screen. After 5 days of deliberation, the jury returns with a unanimous decision: guilty of first-degree murder and kidnapping. The judge, a stoic white man named Judge Riley, reads the sentence: life without parole. Danner doesn't look up. Reporters outside capture the moment Tanisha steps out of the courthouse. She tells them quietly, "We can rest now, but I'll never stop hearing that vending machine hum." The story spreads quickly. The woman followed off the highway, the rest stop trap. It becomes a cautionary tale replayed on local channels for weeks. Months later, the Alabama Department of Transportation installs new surveillance systems across 15 rural rest areas. Signs go up reading, "Cameras active, area under monitoring." Detective Price is promoted to lead investigator in a new task force dedicated to crimes captured on video. She never watches Ariel's footage again, but she keeps a still frame on her desk, the one showing Ariel's car parked beneath the flickering light. Tanisha organizes a scholarship in her sister's name at Birmingham's nursing program. The fund helps women who travel long distances to attend night classes, students just like Ariel. In interviews, she says the same line every time: "If those cameras hadn't been there, we'd still be searching." Forensic analysts later explain how the combination of low-resolution feeds formed the perfect timeline. The gas station cameras showed intent. The highway cameras proved pursuit. The rest stop footage confirmed opportunity. The truck's dash cam, recovered after the arrest, revealed fragments of audio. Ariel's horn blaring, Danner shouting her name. Each piece alone told part of the story. Together, they made the truth impossible to ignore. Ariel's family holds a memorial at the same rest stop months later. Her mother places sunflowers, the ones Ariel always snacked on, beneath the vending machines. The state has since added new lighting in a blue emergency phone. A local TV crew films from a distance. Their footage mirrors the same camera angle from the night of the crime. This time, the lot is bright, clean, and full of cars. Tanisha says quietly, "It's strange. The same spot that took her is now keeping other women safe." In the months following the verdict, state officials push for new safety laws requiring 24-hour surveillance at all public rest areas. Governor's reports cite Ariel's case as a turning point in public safety oversight. CCTV analysts are trained to detect stalking behavior patterns on camera feeds. The data collected from this case becomes part of national law enforcement seminars. Detective Price speaks once at a conference saying, "Technology didn't save her life, but it made sure her truth couldn't be erased." At Holman Correctional Facility, Earl Danner spends his days in silence. Prison logs show he rarely speaks, rarely leaves his cell. He's assigned to clean corridors during early hours when cameras monitor every step. Guards note that he flinches when he hears the sound of vending machines. It's the same mechanical hum that played through the footage used to convict him. When asked in a brief parole hearing if he feels remorse, he says, "I wish I'd kept driving." The request for appeal is denied. Years later, when journalists request public access to the case files, the department releases the raw footage. A woman buying sunflower seeds, a truck idling near the air pump, a stretch of highway with two vehicles traveling under a blanket of stars, a rest stop drowned in silence, both cars parked under one weak light. Viewers watch those final 30 seconds frame by frame, trying to imagine what happened off screen. But the truth doesn't need imagination. The evidence already told it. Today, travelers still stop at exit 219. The vending machines have been replaced, and brighter lights hang over the lot. A new blue emergency phone sits near the restroom wall. Most people who pull in never realize a crime once unfolded there. They just stretch their legs, fill their tank, and keep driving. But to the troopers who patrol that highway, it's still the place where one woman's careful routine met someone else's obsession, and where a few quiet cameras told the story she never got to finish. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and share, and stay tuned for more stories.